welcome to this documentary. I hope to take you through an experience and a blast from the past while also giving you all the scientific info about the topic of nostalgia. I'm here today with my guest speaker, Ollie Stacey, to help get the perfect coverage over this topic. So, nostalgia, what is it?
Well, nostalgia is an emotion that us as humans, even some intelligent animals such as dogs, dolphins, feel as an emotion which can be triggered by your senses, which are triggered memories that come up when you miss those times.
Exactly, all humans will feel nostalgia at some point in their life, but it's not an emotion which forms instantly as it comes with experience, as babies won't feel nostalgia as their memories are still developing. However, once you get older and, for example, hear an old sound like the old Disney opening scene, it instantly brings you back to your childhood. Now, after listening to that, I hope that made you feel happy, warm, sad even, or maybe no feeling at all, because nostalgia is subjective and individual to you and your memories, as some people may listen to that and be instantly transported to their childhood, with them sitting down with their parents all cuddled up in the warmth and having an amazing time. But some people might have had that same memory, but instead of feeling happy when thinking about their childhood, they might feel sad and wish they were back in those times, as it was a simpler and easier time to live in, but they didn't realise that until it was too late. For example, every year I was a child and I used to go to Centre Parks, and it was such an amazing holiday with my family, and there was this one advert with this music. Every time I hear this piece of music, I instantly feel like a kid again, waking up in the morning and getting ready to go on holiday. It makes me feel so much happiness and sadness at the same time, which can be confusing, but here's a TED Talk by Clay Routledge to understand it more.
In the late 17th century, a medical student named Johannes Hofer noticed a strange illness affecting Swiss mercenaries serving abroad. Its symptoms, including fatigue, insomnia, irregular heartbeat, indigestion, and fever, were so strong the soldiers often had to be discharged. As Hofer discovered, the cause was not some physical disturbance, but an intense yearning for their mountain homeland. He dubbed the condition nostalgia, from the Greek nostos for homecoming and algos for pain or longing. At first, nostalgia was considered a particularly Swiss affliction. Some doctors proposed that the constant sound of cowbells in the Alps caused trauma to the eardrums and brain. Commanders even forbade their soldiers from singing traditional Swiss songs for fear that they'd lead to desertion or suicide. But as migration increased worldwide, nostalgia was observed in various groups. It turned out that anyone separated from their native place for a long time was vulnerable to nostalgia. And by the early 20th century, professionals no longer viewed it as a neurological disease, but as a mental condition similar to depression. Psychologists of the time speculated that it represented difficulties letting go of childhood, or even a longing to return to one's fetal state. But over the next few decades, the understanding of nostalgia changed in two important ways. Its meaning expanded from indicating homesickness to a general longing for the past. And rather than an awful disease, it began to be seen as a poignant and pleasant experience. Perhaps the most famous example of this was captured by French author Marcel Proust. He described how tasting a Madeleine cake he had not eaten since childhood triggered a cascade of warm and powerful sensory associations. So what caused such a major reversal in our view of nostalgia? Part of it has to do with science. Psychology shifted away from pure theory and towards more careful and systematic empirical observation. So professionals realized that many of the negative symptoms may have been simply correlated with nostalgia rather than caused by it. And in fact, despite being a complex emotional state that can include feelings of loss and sadness, nostalgia doesn't generally put people in a negative mood. Instead, by allowing individuals to remember personally meaningful and rewarding experiences they shared with others, nostalgia can boost psychological well-being. Studies have shown that inducing nostalgia in people can help increase their feelings of self-esteem and social belonging, encourage psychological growth, and even make them act more charitably. So rather than being a cause of mental distress, nostalgia can be a restorative way of coping with it. For instance, when people experience negative emotional states, they tend to naturally use nostalgia to reduce distress and restore well-being. Today, it seems that nostalgia is everywhere, partially because advertisers have discovered how powerful it is as a marketing technique. It's tempting to think of this as a sign of us being stuck in the past. But that's not really how nostalgia works.
So, nostalgia. It's been around for a long time, but our understanding for this has only recently been developed. It's never been more prevalent in our society. This can be seen with brands today trying to play on consumers' nostalgia by bringing back old items which were popular back in the day, which makes the consumer who used to get it now want to feel how they felt when they bought it originally, back then. For example, when McDonald's brings back old food items like double Big Mac or rib, it makes the consumer miss how they felt maybe as a child when it came out. Maybe they were just happier in that time, and it kind of relieves those times.
Looks like Daddy's bringing home the barbecue. A big sack of McDonald's McRib sandwiches. Grilled pork and that sassy sauce. Tempting, huh? Like a barbecue in a bun without the bones. And with a big icy Coke, it's, well, you're only human, huh, Daddy? Chomp. The good time, great taste of McDonald's McRib for a limited time, only at McDonald's.
After a rocky launch, everyone loved the McRib. However, it was only a limited time item, so when it left, everyone missed it. Until McDonald's realised if they kept this as a limited time item and only released it once a year, when it came out, everyone would rush to get it because they just wanted to to feel how they felt when it first came out, but they can never truly get that feeling back, but they just want more and more, so they keep going for it.
McRib is back for a good time, but true to form, it's not here for a long time. The McRib returns.
Get a McRib combo meal and add another McRib sandwich for just $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
While this is all happy emotions and reliving the past and feeling good about yourself, there can also be negative emotions from nostalgia. For example, you could be doing normal everyday tasks and suddenly smell the scent of your late nan, and this could make you feel sad nostalgia as you remember back to those times, but instead of feeling good about them, a wave of sadness consumes you. But this is completely normal, as nostalgia can be felt in so many different ways based on your experiences with your memories. Nostalgia is also based on the time you grew up, as people who were kids in the 80s will have completely different nostalgia to kids who grew up in the 2000s. For example, pretty much everyone in Britain before 2010 will remember this bird vividly in their early mornings, but now you rarely hear this bird, so the new kids of today won't have the same nostalgia. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I hope you'll listen to our other documentaries, but as we near the end of the documentary, I have one more thing that I hope you can take away from this, and that is nostalgia is a very complex emotion which we still don't fully understand yet. However, we must embrace it as the past makes us who we are today, so no matter if you feel happy or sad nostalgia towards something, as long as you can look back at what kind of person you were then and learn from it, you can become a better person today.